Europeans are starting to talk like Americans, and TikTok is to blame. A British teenager says that's giving. A young German says no cap. A French teenager talks about someone having rizz. And somewhere, a European parent is quietly thinking, when did everyone start talking like Americans? For decades, Europeans have watched American movies, listened to American music, bought American brands, and followed American celebrities. But something different is happening now. America isn't just influencing what Europeans watch, it may be influencing the words they use every day. And the strange part, they often don't even realize it. Because TikTok has turned language into something that can cross an ocean before anyone has time to notice. For thousands of years, language changed slowly. A new word might spread from one town to another, then from one region to another. Maybe eventually it crossed a border. But today, a teenager in Los Angeles can say something on a phone, and within days, teenagers in London, Paris, Berlin, and Madrid can be saying the same thing. The internet didn't invent language change, but it accelerated it. And TikTok may have turned that acceleration into something completely new. Words like rizz, slay, no cap, and it's giving have become recognizable far beyond the communities where many of them originated. And that's where the story gets much more interesting, because many people assume TikTok simply creates new slang. It doesn't. A lot of internet vocabulary existed long before it became mainstream. Linguists point out that expressions such as it's giving and slay have roots in American Black, Latino, and LGBTQ+ communities before social media helped push them into the mainstream. So when a teenager in Britain uses one of these expressions today, they're not necessarily copying an American teenager. They're participating in a much bigger cultural chain. A phrase begins inside one American community. The internet picks it up. Influencers spread it. Millions hear it, and suddenly, Europe is using it. And then there's something even deeper happening. It's not just vocabulary, it's pronunciation. For generations, people could often hear a clear difference between American and British English, but that distinction is becoming less obvious among younger speakers. Take one simple word: schedule. Traditional British pronunciation sounds different from the American version, yet younger British speakers are increasingly exposed to American pronunciation through global media and online culture. And when you spend hours every day listening to American creators, eventually some of their speech patterns can start feeling completely natural. You don't sit down and decide, today I'm going to sound more American. It happens unconsciously. You hear it, you repeat it, your friends repeat it, and eventually nobody notices anymore. But TikTok may be influencing something even subtler: the way people speak. Linguists have discussed whether social media video is creating something like a TikTok voice. Rising intonation, fast delivery, more expressive speech. A style designed to keep someone listening for just a few more seconds. And that makes perfect sense. On television, you might have several minutes to hold someone's attention. On TikTok, you may have seconds. So creators adapt. They change their voices. They change their rhythm. They sound more energetic. They build anticipation. And if that style performs well, millions of people hear it again and again. The algorithm rewards attention. Creators respond. Audiences imitate. And language changes. Not because somebody ordered it to change, but because people are constantly copying the voices around them. And here's the irony. Europe has spent centuries developing its own languages and regional identities. British English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, each with its own history, expressions, and pronunciation. But the internet has created something linguists describe as homogenization. Teenagers thousands of miles apart can now consume the same content and begin using the same expressions. A teenager in London can sound strangely familiar to a teenager in New York, not because they live the same lives, but because they spend time inside the same digital world. And maybe that's the biggest change of all. America's cultural influence used to arrive through Hollywood, then music, then television, then brands. Now, it can arrive through a 15-second video, A word doesn't need to cross the Atlantic anymore. It just needs to go viral. And tomorrow, someone in Europe might say it without ever knowing where it came from. So the next time you hear a European teenager say, "rizz," "slay," "no cap," or "it's giving," remember, you're not just hearing slang. You're hearing culture, travel. And sometimes the most powerful cultural exports aren't movies, cars, or hamburgers. They're words. Because America may not be teaching Europe how to speak, but through the screens Europeans carry in their pockets every day, America is becoming part of the way they talk. And TikTok? It may just be the fastest bridge across the Atlantic we've ever built. If you enjoy discovering the surprising ways America influences everyday life around the world, subscribe to America Through Europeans' Eyes, because there's a lot more happening beneath the surface than most Europeans realize.